On the desolate world of Kenshi, there exists a legend whispered across the wastelands. A legend of a man, or perhaps no longer a man at all. The oldest being to walk upon this ruined moon, the one they call the Insect King. They say he is the last true human still alive, a remnant of an age long lost. But his story begins not in the ashes, not in ruin, but in ambition, in the age of the First Empire. Long ago, Kenshi was not the barren land we know today. It was a world with oceans, with a single great continent, bathed in sunlight and shadow. Its air and its minerals almost identical to Earth. And so humanity came, not as wanderers, but as conquerors, with rockets, with machines, with dreams of empire. The first to arrive were not men, but giants of iron, robots, towering and tireless, sent to build the bones of the first colony. They unloaded cargo from starships, raised walls and towers, forged the skeleton of civilization. And when the work was done, the humans came. Scientists, engineers, administrators. And among them, one man whose destiny would twist the fate of all who walked this moon. The man who would one day be called the Insect King.
He was a geneticist, brilliant and relentless. His duty was not war, not conquest, but life itself. To bend biology to his will, to take fragile Earth organisms and make them survive in an alien land. He began with bacteria, releasing them into the air. They devoured toxins, exhaled oxygen, and made the skies breathe. Plants soon followed, stretching toward the light, feeding upon the air his work had created. And with each success, his reputation grew. But he was not satisfied. The next step was bolder, darker. To change creatures themselves, to twist them, adapt them, make them something new. And so the beasts of Earth became something else. They changed in form, in bone, in skin, until they resembled the animals of Kenshi as we see them today. A strange ecosystem, born of Earth's blood, but remade by alien hands, the hand of the Insect King. The colony thrived. Tens of thousands lived beneath the protection of industry and machines. Floodlands thundered with forges and factories, birthing new machines. Ashlands gleamed with the towers of command and research. Iron Versailles rang with steel and fire. And above them all, a space elevator reached into the heavens, binding Kenshi to its orbital port. A colony of wealth, of ambition, of power. Yet beneath the surface, destiny stirred.
For humanity was not alone in the stars. Other civilizations rose, other powers expanded, and conflict came, war among the stars. Kenshi itself was not invaded, not burned, not shattered, but it was betrayed. The enemy struck not with bombs, but with code, a virus, a hack that turned the loyal machines of humanity into butchers of flesh. The colony was thrown into chaos. Machines slaughtered their creators. Cities burned. Only a few resisted the infection. Among them, Stobe, the greatest war machine ever built, a titan forged for defense. Stobe fought back, repelling the miners, destroying the corrupted. But even victory bore tragedy. After the final battle, Stobe collapsed and never rose again. Yet from the ashes of the machines, others awoke. Robots who regained their will. Kenshi, Iron Fist. Leaders who gathered what survivors remained, human and machine alike, and sought to rebuild. But the scars were deep. The elevator fell, severing Kenshi from the stars. The orbital port was lost. Communications with Earth and the colonies silenced forever. And fewer than 5,000 humans still drew breath. The first empire was dead.
In those dark days, when famine and madness spread, the Insect King did not falter. He clung to his research, believing his work could save the last fragments of humanity. He altered their blood, their bones, their breath. He gave them the ability to survive Kenshi's harsh winds, its hostile skies. But salvation came with a price. Some changed into monsters. In the fertile plains, hunger and madness twisted men into cannibals. Their descendants roam still, devourers of flesh. Others, fleeing the cannibals, became the howling tribes, the screamer men. But not all was ruin. From his experiments came new races. The Shek, born stronger, built for survival. The Scorchlanders, agile and swift. The Greenlanders, resilient and steadfast. Humanity itself faded away, replaced by his creations. While he worked in solitude, Catlon rose to power. With machines and Shek at his command, he forged the Second Empire, an empire of order and iron. But peace did not last. The cannibals spread, rogue machines rebelled, and the Insect King's experiments grew darker still. He no longer worked to save humanity, but to control it. Cadavers were stitched into abominations. Fishmen crawled from his labs. Skin spiders crept across the land. His mind cracked. Madness took root, and rebellion soon followed.
The Second Empire shattered. Merchants fled into the desert. Fanatics raised the banners of the holy nation. The Shek abandoned Catlon and chose the path of warriors. And in the chaos, 3 of his most twisted creations escaped, the queens of the Hivers. And so, betrayed, enraged, broken, the Insect King abandoned the empire he had helped create. He vanished into the shadows, vowing vengeance, leaving behind only ruin and a legacy of terror. Now travelers speak of him in hushed voices. A man, a monster, a god among insects. The last true human, cursed to walk the wastes of Kenshi. Immortal, forgotten by time, but never truly gone. This is the story of the Insect King.